On the world of Attila's Eye, the capital of the anarchist police state known as the Asphodel Anarchist Collective, the last vestiges of the planet's natural ecosystem were swept away. Where once there rose ancient savage mountains or stretched mighty tempestuous seas, there were now only endless horizons of dazzling cityscapes and boundless urban sprawl. The creation of the galaxy's first ecumenopolis of the new age was celebrated as an unrivaled triumph, but none could ignore the creep of doubt that this achievement might not survive the threats that lay beyond. The Pelx-Credonian horde had been united and unleashed with every nation humbled before its might. Each had a choice: resist and face extinction, or submit to the one known to her followers as the Plume of Silver, but hated and feared across the galaxy as the Great Chirpy Khan. The Bocyannian Brotherhood was the first to face the Great Khan in battle, and its fleets were quickly shattered, its armies smashed. Unwilling to surrender to those they considered heathens, the only choice left to the Bocyannians was to accept their fate, and their worlds were taken one by one. The Flargal Stargazers and the Way, nations that just years earlier had declared a great alliance together with the Bocyannians, felt no such spiritual obligation. Their holy leaders knelt before Chirpy Khan, and the newest subjects of the Horde attempted to comfort themselves in the idea that mortal empires were fleeting, while faith remained eternal. If there was any hope that the rise of the Khan might break the ideological struggle between the Union of Supreme Synthetic Republics and the UNG Alliance, it faltered and died as fleets gathered on the border of the USSR. Finally, the long-awaited day arrived. A coalition of forces from the UNG, Platycorp, Batizu Empire, Valtun Kingdom, Obedin Republic, Jupiter Technocracy, and Reflex Inc. struck at the USSR, closing in from both sides in perhaps the largest pincer movement in galactic history. So dire was the threat posed by the USSR that the coalition was joined by the Church of Chains, an isolationist nation that for decades had contented itself in simply managing the galactic slave market. System after system fell before this coalition, but as they advanced, their cohesion dwindled. In the Battle of Novgorod, a vast synthetic counteroffensive fell upon the scattered coalition fleets, each caught out of position and unsure whether to flee or make a stand. Forced into a battle for which they seemed unprepared, coalition leadership braced for a disaster, but shockingly, the fleets of the USSR, which for so long had seemed poised to conquer the galaxy, were woefully ineffective. Where before the USSR had only conquered marauders and pirates, now they faced advanced countermeasures and modern armaments, and were forced to concede Novgorod to the coalition. As the greatest fleets in the galaxy were turned against each other, the Khan continued her march of woe. Reflex Inc. was forced to surrender, while the destruction of the Bocyannians continued. In the Japris system, the last Bocyannian ship, a vessel in which the entire nation had placed their remaining hope, was quickly destroyed, and Japris Prime, their final free world, was besieged. Yet not even this doomed heroic struggle could convince the Coalition and USSR to unite against their common enemy. In the Lvov system, newly retrofitted synthetic warships massed in two enormous fleets crushed the advance of the Coalition and forced them into a barely contained retreat. The UNG and its allies had no choice but to withdraw from the USSR entirely, denounced by their enemy as the united cowards of the galaxy. Perhaps emboldened by the defeat of the UNG, subservient artificial intelligence units across their space broke out in open revolt. Everywhere, UNG garrisons were overthrown, and secretly constructed fleets moved to destroy their organic oppressors. In a heartbreaking blow to UNG morale, the newly declared Artificial Alliance quickly seized control of two systems named for the most legendary and honored heroes in human history. From here, they prepared mighty armadas, far larger than even those commanded by the Great Khan. The capitulation of the UNG seemed all but certain. What happened next might never be truly understood. It was widely accepted that the Artificial Alliance could not coordinate the trillions of drones it had constructed, while others claimed that the eponymous spirits of those systems lost intervened themselves. Whatever the reason, the power of the Artificial Alliance was fractured, and hope returned to the UNG. As the entire galaxy fell into chaos, the Cyber Equestrian Collective announced they had managed to bridge the gap to a previously inaccessible extragalactic star cluster by repairing a long-dormant and ancient gateway. Hoping to discover some long-lost wonder that might be the key to defeating the Great Khan, they instead encountered a highly advanced civilization known as the Dysanu Consonants. To the Khan, the discovery of the so-called L Cluster was merely another opportunity. The tremendous defenses of the Dysanu were not enough to deter the Horde, and after seizing the entrance to the L Cluster, they quickly utilized its ancient network of gateways to send their fleets across the galaxy, almost without warning. Everywhere the Horde was set loose against unprepared defenders, and nations that had ignored the Khan as a distant concern now found their worlds on the front lines. Not even the Artificial Alliance could escape the wrath of Khan, and robotic warfleets dueled with Pelk's Credonian raiders in the ruins of what had once been UNG's space. Caught between two powers it could not hope to stand against, and with Earth itself occupied, the UNG submitted to the Khan in desperation. On Japras Prime, the long-assailed Bosionian Brotherhood came to an end, but in the death throes of that spiritual people was born a holy martyr. The heroic final stand of the Bosionians was personified in the will and deeds of their last general. His death rocked the galaxy like a thunderclap, and once disparate powers now found themselves united in his name. New armies and fleets were mobilized and sent against the Khan with a new battle cry: Stand with Steve. The nations of the Fifth Interstellar, the Dredge, Platycorp, the Cyber Equestrians, and the Turkardian Utopia all marshaled their power against the Khan, but against her brilliant strategic mind, achieved only mixed success. When Chirpy Khan faced her first defeat, it was not from any of the younger races, but the Dysanu, who could tolerate the Horde's control of the L-Gates no longer. Emboldened by this reversal, the Turkardian Utopia, Asphodel Anarchist Collective, and the Union of Supreme Synthetic Republics, in an unprecedented display of unity, tracked down the wounded Khan, and in the Battle of Beiruta, ambushed her warfleet and destroyed her flagship. The reign of the Khan was ended, and the galaxy granted a reprieve. With the death of Chirpy Khan, democratic, egalitarian forces within the Pelk's Credonian people seized power and attempted to reform the Horde into a new federation built on mutual support and common ideals. For many who had knelt before the Khan, the memory of her conquest was too great, and the heroic symbol of Steve too powerful. Even before the Horde had completed its transition of power, the Valtun Kingdom, the Way, and the Flargal Stargazers all declared their independence. Only the UNG remained, counting on whatever power remained in the Horde to protect them from the Artificial Alliance. The sense of galactic unity born with the martyrdom of Steve died with the Khan. Old rivalries quickly crept back into the universe, and the Sozialistische Räterepublik, together with the Fifth Interstellar, demanded that the UNG finally bow to their superior ideology. Again faced with a war it couldn't hope to win and the support of the reborn Horde in doubt, the UNG immediately surrendered, becoming the newest member of the Fifth Interstellar. All across the galaxy, the old ways returned, if they ever left at all. The Flargal Stargazers and the Way have reformed the Council of Seekers, declaring Steve to be their messiah, while Platycorp claims to have obtained his DNA and now sell it at a premium on the galactic market. Petty rivalries have turned once more to war, and everywhere, larger and more powerful warships are being constructed, threatening to bring about an even greater cataclysm. Centuries from now, if any historians who might reflect on this era remain, how many might argue that the galaxy would have been better off if the Horde had never fallen, and the universe had been united under the genius of Chirpy Khan? Surely, however brutal and repressive her rule might have been, it might still be preferable to the unyielding insanity of ideologies, the incomprehensible plots and wars, and the seemingly endless spiral into madness that has once more entangled the galaxy and threatens to ensnare it in a perpetual hysteria, from which it can never escape. Thanks to Paradox Interactive for allowing us at the Templin Institute to investigate and document the many empires in this intense and unpredictable universe. We'll be providing a summary of the events of the DevClash series every few weeks, but if you'd like to watch our own Stellaris Invicta series, where we chronicle the rise of the Greater Terran Union, its wars against the hostile alien federation known as the Compact, and its ultimate vengeance against the hive-minded Tyrum, check out our Twitch and YouTube channels.